shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CV Coacher Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. Today we will be doing our 2024 NBA regular season awards. So MVP, DPOY, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year. And then we also have some other NBA awards that aren't official, but we thought we would throw them in after the NBA awards. I just want to give you all a reminder. If you like the basketball content, the football content that we provide, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, please leave us a 5-star like and review to help push the algorithm, help us grow. We've really been appreciated. We are so close to 250 subscribers, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you do love the content. But before we get into our NBA awards, we have to start with Summits, Plummets, and that's where we're going to go to Danny.
Yeah, so my Summit of the week has to be, it's my birthday week. So, turn 22, my Jimmy Butler year. I'm hoping it's not Jimmy Butler's year.
Caitlin Clark year, buddy. It's your Caitlin Clark year.
Ready? I'm hoping it's not Jimmy Butler's year, but it's my Jimmy Butler year.
Why would you want it to be your Jimmy Butler year? That's horrible, man. You couldn't think of a better 22?
We're trying to grind it out.
We got Clyde Drexler out here, and you're talking about fucking Jimmy Butler. Come on, dog.
At least I ain't say Taylor Swift. Come on, man.
You were better off saying Taylor Swift than Jimmy
Butler.
I'd
roll with that.
You could have just rolled with Caitlin Clark, but
CC.
Hey, man, shout out to you, though.
It's DCCC year. There it is.
DCC. And then I'm going to do a double summit this week. My sister got engaged, so.
Yeah, shout out to her. Woo. I always thought Haley would be the one to propose, but she got proposed too.
It's kind of crazy, right? So for the viewers that don't know, my sister is lesbian. She has a fiance. Anyway, so crazy story. My sister was planning on proposing in May, and then her girlfriend texted us, "I'm proposing in 2 weeks."
So how does that go? Is it like Haley's ring shopping, but you guys know it's like, just say every ring's bad and we'll come back.
No, my sister was gonna wait for her girlfriend's brother to come home because he lives in Florida.
Oh, when they were on vacation, everybody.
Yeah, okay. But then my sister, after she got proposed to, she was just like, "I'm not waiting," so she just did it.
Fair's enough. No time like the present, man. Congratulations to them, of course. We can move on. Chris, what's Summits and Plummets looking like this week?
Yeah, well, first of all, major congrats, Danny, to your sister. And my let me see what I'm gonna do first.
Solar eclipse. I saw the story.
Oh yeah. Plummet. Actually, I did not get special powers from watching the eclipse. I did take my glass off for a second. It did burn my eyes. So I put the glasses right back on because I was a little nervous. But I unfortunately am not Omni-Man. Y'all lucky because everybody who was talking crazy, I would have episode 1, y'all. If y'all told me, I would have episode 1, y'all. But yeah, that's my plummet. I'm trolling. But yeah, my summit. I'd say the outcome of the Final Four for the women. I think I'll say that not just South Carolina winning, but South Carolina winning, Don Staley taking time to acknowledge what Caitlin Clark did for college basketball and women's basketball overall, which is really cool because I think it was a lot of just discrepancy out of nowhere. People wanted Don and South Carolina to beef with Iowa, or they just wanted beef, and I think it was great that the winning team showed love and showed grace, and Caitlin went out closest to on top as you possibly can, making that championship game. So I'm happy with seeing that. Happy with seeing, what's next for them. So yeah, I think that'd be my summit.
I'll tell you one thing. I think that beef generates a lot of media and a lot of entertainment, but beef doesn't mean that teams are good, honestly. So I think a lot of people wanted to see a Iowa versus LSU beef. They wanted to see them meet because they had a prior beef, but I think it's kind of why South Carolina went under the radar and nobody. They just played their game. They did what they got to do. They played their game, and I'm not gonna lie. When I'm looking at the men's and women's bracket, I see a lot of similarities between the championship. You got a well-balanced roster in UConn and South Carolina, where Iowa and Purdue, their offense went through Caitlin Clark and Edie. And this is not me comparing Edie to Caitlin Clark. Edie stinks. I'm just saying the offenses and their style of game, they go through one person.
And South Carolina, too, on top of that, they have the 2 best freshmen in the nation not named Juju on their team as well.
And they got a really good senior, too, who just apparently is a foot taller than every girl alive.
Oh, yeah, Camille Cardozo, she's been good for a while. Her and Raven Johnson were teammates in AAU, so cheating. First of all, cheating. So, that was good, too.
I would say I was a win-win this weekend. Caitlin Clark is obviously my favorite women's basketball player, just like a lot of other people. The way she's revolutionized the game, it's been incredible to watch. But on the other hand, and a little more bright for me, Temple legend Dawn Staley just completed the perfect season. I mean, this you can see it in her nature that this is that's a Philly woman. Like, you can tell for her coaching style, her demeanor. And yeah, I agree with Chris, like just giving the flowers where it's due. But to be quite honest, and I don't want to say this if she wants to stay in South Carolina, it's you have a dynasty on your hands. Like you said, you got Tessa Johnson, who was absolutely amazing in the game. You have please forgive me for her name. I can't think of her name, but
Aaliyah something.
I think her last name was Will Riley. I think I want to say her name was, but she had an insane layup package. She's going to have her for years. They just got so much to build off of. And her move to because if she never put Raven Johnson on Caitlin Clark, they were going to get shot out the gym. Like, because Caitlin Clark was not missing in the first quarter. It was going to get dark. But you make the move, you put Raven on her. Caitlin had a bad game. Like, she made it tough, and she probably should have done that from the start, to be quite honest. And you could have put this game away by halftime. But I'd be, if I were her, real interested in maybe that Kentucky job.
No, she should be interested in.
I'm just saying, if anybody could bring some spark, to a blue blood that is just missing it, I'm looking to Dawn Staley. Now, she don't have to. I mean, she's in a perfect situation, but it's either that or she needs to go coach the Lakers.
Anyway, crazy point. All right, I was a casual back then. I was at Sixers versus Celtics playoff last year, and they had Jay Wright and Dawn Staley ring the bell. I don't know if Chris, you know what I was like, who is this woman ringing the bell?
Oh my God, there's no way.
I figured she coached college basketball because she's with Jay Wright, but I didn't know who she was.
Down the street, she's a legend down the street.
I'm sorry, man. Jay Wright is like I don't know. I know Jay Wright.
Who's bigger in Philly? Let me ask you. I want your. Actually, I can get Chris's opinion here. Who's bigger in Philly, Jay Wright or John Chaney? Oh, I mean, Jay Wright's got the titles, but
Jay Wright do got the titles, but John Chaney got the people.
Legendary.
But they got the people. If you ask anybody who doesn't pre LeBron era where his only rings matter, they're gonna say John Chaney 100% without even thinking about it. Now,
Villanova not even in Philly. Let's be honest.
I'm going John Chaney. I'm going John Chaney.
Who was the coach of St. Joe's when they had West and
Jameer Nelson?
Jameer Nelson.
St. Joe's coach with Jameer Nelson. Hold on, wait.
That team was I watched the 30-minute documentary. I watched a 30-minute documentary about that team. That team was nice.
Dude, Philly basketball just had it all, but just they can't fucking recruit anymore. Can't recruit for shit.
And by the way, if you want to feel washed, Jameer Nelson Jr. is in college playing basketball, and
we know that. Fuck out of here, dude.
Where's he playing?
Where's he go? He was just playing like actually.
Say he not.
He's not a bum. He go TCU.
That boy, come on. He's supposed to revive the spark in Philly basketball. He's supposed to go right to fucking St. Joe's and fix this shit.
And great, I think. But funny thing is, if I'm not mistaken, last year was his senior year, and I think he went to
George Washington.
Yeah, before that. Okay, he went to George Washington before that. Okay, cool. I knew he went somewhere. I didn't know if it was a Philly school, but
yeah, man. Basically, Summit. It's really a double summit. It's just a win for women's basketball. It's insane. Like, not even 20 minutes after the title game, I shit you not, people were like, "Oh, Caitlyn's going to Aaliyah Boston's team, by the way." I'm like, "Oh, dog, look, man, this is like two of the best number one overall prospects we've seen in quite a minute. Not, obviously Kelsey Plum as well, but like, why can't we just get hype? Why can't we just get hype for this? Like, Caitlin Clark made Hannah Stolke put up 25 in a Final Four game. What the fuck do you think's about to go down when she got Aaliyah Boston? We're not thinking too much about how great this is about to be for the sport. And my final point on that is, I was a big Taurasi fan. I was like an advocate that this is probably the greatest women's basketball player of all time. Didn't know she was a hater though. Oh my God. Gonna have to change my opinion now. Maya Moore, welcome to the GOAT Club.
Yeah, hey, go look back at it, Tom. It's been a while, like a long time. She's hated on every young guard that's come in, from Skylar to Kelsey Plum. She hated on everybody.
I saw the video today about how she like checked Kelsey Plum, because Kelsey Plum was like, "I'm about to bring it back out. I'm about to blow by her old ass," and then she got checked. All right, man. Caitlin Clark come in. She gonna do get off the pick, bang, step back, 30-footer. Can't wait to be there. Another take I have with women's basketball in general: just move the 3-point line back to the men's distance. The good shooters shoot from there anyway. Like, I don't think any of the women would have a problem with it, to be quite honest. All of them shoot like 2 or 3 feet behind the line anyway. Last speculation: a lot of people are pushing for the Indiana Fever to maybe pick up Kate Martin as a free agent. Look, if she grinds hard enough, I'm not mad at it, simply because like, this better be your franchise player or one of your 2 franchise players. This is like her best friend. Hey, go for it. Don't use that 2nd round pick on her. Look, Kate Martin is cool. She's a dog. She showed up big in that Final Four. She's not draftable, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna lie.
She could work for it.
To you. She's like, I don't know, dude. I feel like there's not many spots for undersized women in the WNBA.
It's just not spots in general. Like, it just isn't enough teams in general.
No, like what's the dude's name on the Grizzlies? Hilliard. He's like 5'8".
Wait, talking about Xavier Simpson for a second.
Nah, there's like a 5'8" dude on, like, Jacob Hilliard or something like that. He's like short.
Gilliard. I think it's Gilliard.
Whatever,
Yeah.
something like that. And I don't know. He can get to his spots and he's undersized, but there's 30 NBA teams, right?
Yeah.
You can't like force a undersized person who isn't great at one particular like ability onto a WNBA team, because they're just not spots, like you were saying. It's unfortunate right now, but I think this calls for a lot of these big cities to have teams like Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia is a prime place that could have one.
Thank you for wrapping that Kate Martin is not good enough to be a pro into Philadelphia needs a WNBA team, because they're very connected. Because if we had a team, bam, Kate Martin, welcome to the WNBA. But
Gabby Marshall, welcome to the WNBA.
I'll say this though, I'm actually shocked at the level of defense Gabby Marshall played in this Final Four. Dude. She did a very good job. I also learned she can't dribble a basketball. Like, literally just walking up the court dribbling, she looked hesitant. It could be nerves. I don't know. But none of them are used to dribbling anyway. That's all Caitlin's job.
I'll tell you one thing. We love the spot up shooter who couldn't dribble. His name was JJ Redick. She can come to Philly.
Come on now. What did JJ say on the podcast? He said, March 2018, 27 points, JJ Redick. Google it. It's hilarious that he said like that's one of his high parts of his game, talking to a guy who averages that for his 21-year career. It's just so different. And like JJ's an NCAA legend, and it had a very, very good NBA career. But obviously, levels. Something he can hold over LeBron forever is that he's a college legend, and LeBron not smart enough to get into college, apparently, is what I'm being told. His Duke application got turned down. That's why he never went. Michael Jordan could never. He got into North Carolina. Smart boy. But we could get into these NBA awards. It was always great talking some WNBA, but I think it's time to start. Start with the most obvious one. Let's start with MVP. Got a feeling. I think I know where Danny's going. I know where I'm going. I want to start with Chris because I feel like our picks are kind of obvious.
With MVP, we're starting with MVP first.
Yeah. Yep. We're starting with the heaviest hitter.
My pick hasn't changed. I'm still going with Shayvonte Gilgeous-Alexander, and the reason why is because
we're all over the place then. But
it
I'm not
shows
saying that's a bad pick at all. I want to hear you out though.
when he was out, it shows that they need him because they got Josh Giddey running point, and I mean J-Dub was out too, so that does hurt. So J-Dub was out, so I get that. But also, I mean, if the name of the award is most valuable player, take said player away. I think it's a two-man race. Well, three-man, Luka, Jokic, Shea. I think they're the most valuable players to their team. And in my opinion, I think the reason I give the edge to Shea over those two players is just because he took a young team that was close to playing last year into a top 3 seed, missed some time, and he's doing it with a rookie at the end of the day, Chet Holmgren, and then a couple 3 to 4 year guys and a bunch of role players. So in my opinion, I think Shea's season has been very, very impressive. He's upped his level of defense since last year. His points have always been there, but his defense has been a lot better, and I think that's what's helped make the team a lot better. So I give him the slight edge over Jokic or Luka. But if they get it, I wouldn't be mad.
I'm free to go next. I'm sticking with my preseason pick. I'm going with Jokic. Not only do I think he was a little bit more deserving last year, now he really deserves it. When we're talking about, so we talk about a guy, take him off this team. How good are they? When with Jokic on the court, this team is a top 3 net rating. They have the perfect starting 5 because of who he is. Michael Porter Jr. can get off these open looks, get off these shots because Jokic can find them. Aaron Gordon is the best cutter in the league, one of the best non-centers to be put in a dunker spot. One of the best players in general that can play in the dunker spot because of who Jokic is. Jamal Murray, fantastic player, can get his own, finds his rhythm while being the roll man in a Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray pick and roll. And then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, your classic 3-a-D guy. Everybody like that's going to eat with Jokic. My point is, you take him out, they have a worse. They have a net rating on the level of the Charlotte Hornets, which is his on-off numbers. The advanced statistics, they're always going to lean in his favor because of how much the ball is in his hands, the usage rate, the minutes he plays. That's another thing about him. He's going to play. Hardly ever injured. Plays mid to high 30 minutes every single game. So yeah, he's my pick. There's not much more to it. It's going to be the same argument every single year with him. The on-off numbers and the advanced metrics really point to him. Obviously, a double-double, triple-double machine, obviously. I think this year more than anything, it's just like not a complete negative on defense. The past couple years, it's been better. So give me 1 second. Yeah, that's been my pick. We can go to Danny though for the Luka propaganda, which the Mavs dropped a fire video about that. But yeah,
are we? We're doing what our picks are, not what we think is going to happen, right?
Nope, your picks because we know SGA is not winning it. But the argument's there. But I'm just saying it's probably like a 2-man white race, unfortunately. So
argument is very well
Shea,
there.
Shea got the quad injury. If Shea doesn't get the quad injury, he's right in the thick of it, of course.
Yeah, I was at the Thunder Sixers game. He looked very healthy to me. But my pick for 2023-2024 NBA MVP is my preseason pick, Luka Doncic. And I have a lot of reasons why. When Luka's on the floor, the Dallas Mavericks are a team that not many people can beat. Luka and Kyrie together have elevated the Mavs to a level that I don't think anyone's seen the Mavs at since they played LeBron back in the finals. The Mavs are a competitive team. They use all of their players perfectly. Luka is finally trying just a slight miss on defense. Like he is giving a little bit of effort. I think getting Kyrie is the best thing that happened to Luka's career, and it actually is going to lead to Luka staying in Dallas. Because I think that at one point there was a little bit of hope that Luka might be a free agent because the Dallas isn't surrounding him with anybody. Like they just aren't. Like everyone thought Luka could have left Dallas, but now with Kyrie and a bunch of good young players around him, I think Luka revitalized the team, can distribute the ball to all these players so well, and can go get his own 30 every night. So that is my reason why Luka Doncic is the 2023-2024 NBA MVP.
Yeah, it's not bad reasoning. I will say, with Luka, I mean, like the Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington has made all the difference in the world when it comes to perimeter and interior defense. So that you can, I mean, you still can go pick on Luka if you want, but it makes it a little bit harder with the supporting cast around him. Obviously, I would probably agree about the Kyrie Irving move. Just to date, obviously, I don't know if Chris had any thoughts on that. I kind of just agree with everything Danny said, but I just like my argument for Jokic a little better.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic has very clear argument.
Like I said, I think it's in reality, like outside of who I would like to win, I think it's come down to a 2-man race between Luka and Jokic. But I think edge will go to Jokic in the sense that I know Kyrie's I think he'll end up maxing out like 59 games if he plays all of them. But Luka missing Kyrie for some time, but I know Jokic missed a couple key players a couple times and they kept rolling. So I think they may factor that into it. But I think, like y'all said, I think it's really a 2-man race at the end of the day. And I think it could go either way, depending on what the voters think. I mean, Stephen A. Smith has MVP vote. He thinks Quentin Grimes is still in the Knicks. So you never know what he may vote for. He may vote for that. I don't know.
Yeah, so we all have different picks here. So I mean, they're all great picks. We're gonna be like, all splitting hairs if we try to be here all day with it. So
move on.
Yeah, but those are the top 3, and there's no one else. There is no Tatum. There's no Giannis. There's definitely no Anthony Edwards. So we can move on to Defensive Player of the Year. I think we would all have Rudy Gobert. Wemby, while I think he is the best, if you don't have Rudy Gobert, you're objectively wrong. While I think Wemby is the best defensive player in the league already, you can't justify having less than 20 wins and giving somebody an award like this. You can't do it, no matter what.
I get it.
Rudy Gobert, I don't have Gobert.
Rudy Gobert also. Wemby. I can't justify that. I can't do it.
Yeah, I wish it was Wemby. I don't have Wemby either.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert is the anchor of the best defense in the NBA, and they're winning, and they're fighting for the 1 seed. So it's a little bit different. And I know, like, prayers to Wemby, his backcourt can't guard anybody, but it's just kind of how the game's played, man.
Do you have day-to-day?
I 100% have Anthony Davis as Defensive Player of the Year. And it's not even on some Lakers stuff. AD's numbers are better, first of all. Second of all, Rudy has better defenders around him for the first time, finally has better defenders than Utah. Not saying than Lakers in general, but just better defenders around him. So I think it's easier for him to do what he does best. But I think, and most of mine is mostly off eye test. I've watched both. The way Anthony Davis impacts the game on both sides is unreal. Now, Gobert does do the same thing. Not both sides. On defense is unreal. Now, Gobert does do a lot of it, and I think a lot of Gobert won't even get into the stats because a lot of deterrence, a lot of stuff you won't even put up. You won't even go certain places because Gobert's there, and I get that. But AD has that, and he has the steals and blocks too, in my opinion. I think this is one of AD's best defensive seasons, along with healthier seasons. So he's obviously going to have the stats that he doesn't have in other seasons. So my own opinion, I would give it to Anthony Davis. I think it's a 2-man race in reality, with it being Gobert and Davis outside of Wemby, because Wemby just does have the wins. That's
so weird. So weird enough, I would get Anthony Davis. Since the All-Star break, the Lakers have kind of like swapped identities. They're now this fast-paced, high-scoring offense, but their defense is kind of taking a toll. Now, that's not a reflection of Anthony Davis, of course. Anthony Davis is probably having the best defensive year of his career, while being pretty solid offensively, to say the least. One thing I saw on Twitter, it was like a screenshot from the Wolves Lakers game, and they're going by like contest or like all the numbers for AD and Rudy Gobert, and it was like contested threes, and it's like Rudy Gobert wasn't even close. And I could see in that aspect that like AD gets pulled out to the perimeter sometimes, and it's like he can hang. So I definitely get that one. Rudy Gobert, his numbers almost kind of like Wemby in a way. It's at like the blocks. like now while Wemby has an insane amount of blocks, it's not even as good as it should be because people just don't even want to go up with you. Rudy Gobert suffers from that. Everyone knows his reputation around the league. Already a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. And yeah, the defenders around him, if you want to kind of put that in the argument, I totally get it. But this is almost me like not throwing Gobert a bone, not to say he doesn't deserve it, but like I won't take one away from him because his defense is finally good, if that makes sense. Like he's won 3 DPOYs with horrid defenses. So I see AD. I can see AD. And if we're talking from a straight who's the best defender aspect, Danny, it in my opinion, it's 100% Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, like
can't
that's why he's my
justify-
pick.
like-
That's why he's my pick, though. Like he's the best defender
I
in the
can't give
NBA.
any of these awards besides Rookie of the Year to someone who, and it's not his fault, but I can't give it to someone who's on a team. Like, and I'm usually not like your team has to win. I have LeBron and AD both on second team and third team All NBA, and they're the 9 seed. But like,
I get it.
you better get the first overall pick again. Like, I don't know about that, but I get your logic behind it, but I can't get down with it because, yeah, it's just not enough winning going on in San Antonio for that to happen.
Shifty
It's not
Rob
even
and Shifty Rob and little Alien together.
Unfortunately, it's going to be Alex Sarr and Alien together. Then nobody's going to get any layups because you're going to have 7-4 and 7-1 down there.
Whole time they're just going to trade that pick to get Mr. Young, Mr.
Or LaMelo Ball.
Are you ready?
I
Chris, you
mean,
ready for it?
I'd rather have Trey. I think
They're
Trey could
trading
get down
back.
with the San Antonio culture a little better than
Think so?
Mr. Grill and Lamborghini, but
That'll
They're gonna
be okay.
trade-
He'll give Papa a grill. Then it's lit.
yeah, okay.
They're trading for Bronny.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you know what's going to happen? Danny just said it. They're going to draft Bronny. Bron's going to sign in San Antonio, and Kevin Durant's going to go with him. Just because this is
All right.
made up crap. That's what I do.
So
I'm with you, Danny. Let's
we're
rock.
running out the lineup of Trey Jones. No, we're running out the lineup of Bronny, Devin Vassell, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, and Alex Sarr off the bench. Why not? No, Alex Sarr's traded.
No, at that point, put Bronny on the bench.
Put me on
Bronny
the
can
bench.
come off
I
the
don't
bench.
give a just let that
But
rock.
damn, right? We put Bronny. We'll put LeBron at the point, Bronny at the 2, KD at the 3, Alex Sarr at the 4, Wemby at the 5.
Okay, I asked you this question: where is Bronny getting drafted?
Next year.
Probably not going to be in the draft. Yeah, next year.
He's not going to be in the draft this year.
Same thing.
Okay, no, he entered the draft, but like, I think a team might try to sign him in the second round.
No. So this is what I was telling a lot of people. Like, if it wasn't Bronny James, this wouldn't even been news. Like every
No,
kid
I get that.
does the
Every
same.
kid enters the draft.
He's not going to do it.
Isaiah-
I don't think he'll enter.
Isaiah Wong entered the draft every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't
Damian
think
Lee
he'll
entered that draft. Boy,
That's my
baby
guy.
Carson Edwards.
I like Xavier Lee a lot. I like him a lot. I like him as a player.
He really does remind me of Carson Edwards, though. Shout out to him. I miss Carson Edwards.
Get the calves of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he not built like that, but
Different.
they get to the bucket
Yeah,
the same way.
He's not your.
They both, you know what I'm saying. But I would say we don't really want to waste time on this next one. Rookie of the Year.
No, we're not wasting time on that. It's
Yeah.
one player. It's a one-man race. Victor
It's
Wembanyama.
Brandon Miller.
It's Max Christie.
No, I will
It's
apologize to Danny.
Ben
Though.
Simmons. Ben Simmons.
I will apologize to Danny though. I like completely not I don't say right off Brandon Miller. He's my 3rd best prospect, but like I said, like if you don't draft Scoot Henderson, you must die. I gotta stop with that mentality, man.
Hey, I was on that side too.
Brandon Miller is a hell of a player. You'd almost forget that he was involved in a gun situation. But hey, man, Danny watches his college hoops a little bit more than I do, so I respect it.
I watch a lot of college basketball, particularly in February and March.
Yes, you gotta know. You gotta know.
I was wrong about B Miller. One of my,
especially because Danny has to know who's backing up Embiid next year. It's gonna be Zach Edey.
Dude, that's the most Sixers pick of all time.
Spurs will pick Zach Edey with their
Smith, or when you trading Mikal Bridges,
Edey and Wemby in the front court.
Hey, look,
Wemby at the 4.
Nobody gonna score, but like Edey just not go. I don't know how playable he's gonna be on offense, and I don't want to say like because there's plenty of dudes who are just Edey's height and not good. Luke Cornett has an NBA job though, so Zach Edey I think is going to play in the NBA.
The only thing with Edey, I think what he'll need is what every big slow guy needs. Like even Nurkic, all those other, you need switchable defenders around him. That's what the NBA is at the end of the day. You just need people who can funnel to the lane. That's what the Spurs do.
Wait. I was gonna tell you exactly who he is. He is a taller Zubac. All he is.
I like that assessment a little bit. I think Zubac got some of the worst hands though. Like that dude can't.
Yeah.
But I like that.
He really just Luke Cornett with a high usage rate.
I like that. I like that.
No, he's Luka Garza, dog. He's Luka Garza.
Stop, bro.
Respect Luka Garza.
Respect Luka Garza. Please,
Luka Garza.
Because I'm gonna talk about him later. Trust. I'm gonna talk about him later.
You'll find a way.
We can just slot in Wemby at our Rookie of the Year. Let's talk Most Improved. This person isn't eligible for the award. I want to shout out Jalen Johnson, though. I mean, like, statistically, this guy deserves it. I mean, the way you could tell he's worked on his game. Him and Trae Young, before they went down, were a really good tandem. You could probably see something there, but now, guys are probably going to be on the move. But the top candidates for this award have been Jonathan Kuminga, Kobe White, Tyrese Maxey is going to win this award. And the reason a lot of people are like, oh, well, he was just filling in for James Harden. Of course, the stats are going to get better, but that's not always like, first of all, that's a very hard role to fill for a guy who's not known as a traditional point guard. He's more like a combo guard. He's not looking to pass first. He's looking to get his. Not saying he can't. I know he can pass, and he did it very well this year. Part of his Most Improved propaganda. But yeah, it's not guaranteed. You just fill in for a future Hall of Famer, all NBA level guy, and like, yeah, you're gonna do just fine. It's not promised. Jordan Poole, given his own entire team, look how that turned out. So it's not always about like the second year guy taking the leap. Sometimes, like, guys got it. Like they also just have to go out there and do it. Like the whole hype that he's just gonna fill James Harden role, but he went out there and did it. And he probably did it better than James Harden did last year because he has his own responsibility of getting his own shot and being a reliable second option to Joel Embiid while also having to take care of the playmaking. While I will say him and Embiid kind of split that role, I think Maxey was doing the heavy load of it. And I also don't want to say he kept the Sixers afloat while he was hurt. They suffered tremendously without Joel Embiid. But there were games where it's like, we got to have this one, and Tyrese Maxey made sure that they got it. Anybody else get consideration?
Yeah, I don't have Maxey for Most Improved. Only
okay, yeah. Talk to me.
And the only reason why, and I'm a Maxey super fan. I watched him here in Duncanville before he even got to Kentucky. So it isn't even hate. It's more so a nod to Maxey. I don't think he's more improved. I think Jay got James Harden the fuck out the way, so he can finally get the touches he deserved, which I'm not taking away from. I think he had a great season, but I don't think Maxey improved his game. I think they just got the dude who was in his way, taking 10 shots out of his hand, taking ball handler responsibility out of his hand, taking playmaker opportunity out of his hand. They got him out the way, and he was able to prove that he can do it. So that's the only reason why I don't give it. When he wins it, I won't be mad, though. I won't be mad when he wins.
I see that vision. It's like he didn't really get better. It's just like the guy who wasn't as good as him got out the way.
Got the way, and they moved.
I see that.
That's my only thing. And when he wins it, because like I said, like y'all said, I agree. I think he will win it. I won't be mad. Who
are you giving it to though?
I would give it to Kobe White, and the only reason why I say that,
I love Kobe.
I wasn't a Kobe White fan. Duke Blue, let's get it. Sorry, UNC. But Kobe White has gotten so much better, in my opinion, and I think Zach LaVine being injured has shown that. Like Kobe White was just a bucket before. They were trying to make him into a point guard. He was more of a two guard. He was just a bucket. This year, he was able to get his buckets, shoot the same amount of threes, shoot more threes on volume, and Steve was able to get his teammates involved. He started rebounding more. He played defense. So I think his game overall improved. I don't think it showed in the Bulls record, of course, but I think his game improved. So I'd give it to Kobe White.
I assume you're sticking with Maxey.
But I'm sticking with the player who dropped 3 50-point games this season. the guy who led his team to a possible 7, maybe even 6 seed without Embiid down the stretch. Maxey not only stepped up his game because he got more touches, because some people get more touches and they fumble it. So I think be able to get more touches and doing something with it matters. So Maxey's got these touches, handled the whole offense without Embiid, and elevated the team, because there was a point where you guys were talking about the Sixers possibly not even making the playoffs, like not even making the play-in. Like you guys were like, what are the Sixers going to do without Embiid? They could simply just fall out of the like playoffs, like the 8 or 9, like the 9 or 10 seed. And now they're on the verge of competing for a 6 seed with 3 games to go. So I think I have to go with Tyrese Maxey because of these reasons. He's phenomenal. He has the speed. He has the 3-point ability. He distributes. He is kind of the perfect balance with Embiid on the floor too. And he makes Tobias Harris a usable basketball player, which is really important when you're in Philadelphia.
I don't know if Tobias Harris is usable. It's a very strong word, but yeah, I agree. We basically kind of said, the same things. But with Kobe White, I wanted to say, his is also kind of down to like a lot of opportunity as well. At least not from like a rebounding and defensive standpoint, more so from like just the scoring and the playmaking. No Levine this year, obviously no Lonzo Ball the past 2 years. So I would honestly say from a scoring and assist standpoint, it's about damn time. But I definitely see where you're coming from with the Kobe White one, because he could have easily just not improved. He could have just been same old Kobe White, but he's done pretty good this year. And like the record don't reflect it, but look, when you have Nikola Vucevic as your starting center, man, what you gonna do?
Kobe White could have forced us to watch Javon Carter minutes. He could have forced us to do it, but he didn't.
He also could have told Billy Donovan, we need more Javonte Green minutes. That's my dog. Shout out to him, Celtics legend, and was like
Chicago legend Ayo Dosunmu, by the way.
From Io is also, if Io honestly,
if he had more time, if it was 20 more games, maybe
if he turned this up from like day one, that's probably my most improved. Io Dosunmu is it's pretty good. So I would say you got White. Me and Danny have Maxey. We're just gonna slide in Maxey just on my sheet that I'm writing down here. Okay. So now we get to talk about Coach of the Year. JB Bickerstaff was he's so weird because some people have him. He could be like your Coach of the Year, or he needs to be fired. So it's an insane spectrum with him. My pick, I'm kind of going with 2 Sixers here, but I want to go with Nick Nurse, because Embiid is obviously going to be a big part of your game plan when he's on your team. But when this is like the first coach where I look at this Sixers team and he's getting the most out of everybody. Paul Reed getting the most out of him. Kelly Oubre on a minimum. Tobias Harris. Tyrese Maxey. Like he's also brought a defensive identity to this team as well. A lot of the main feats about Nick Nurse got Embiid just have to be on the floor. But that's going to be any coach. If you take LeBron James off the Lakers, unfortunately, Darvin Ham is not this amazing coach anymore. So it's going to be like that for a lot of teams. Joe Mazzulla, you take away Jason Tatum and you let your offense run through Jaylen Brown. With the first pick in the NBA draft, the Boston Celtics, that's just going to be happening. So, but Nick Nurse is my pick. I love the way that he's built the defense around Embiid, built an offense around Embiid and Maxey, getting the most out of his 3-and-D guys. And wherever Nick Nurse is, there's going to be some good defense. That's my pick.
Nice. I like that one.
And I don't know if he's a strong candidate, but again, this is my pick. That's just my pick.
Yeah, my pick is I'm going to the Western Conference for it. You probably can guess. He's coaching.
Darvin Ham.
Oh no, I wasn't saying terrorists need to be deported tonight. I was saying Coach of the Year. So Coach of the Year, that is none other than Mark Daigneault from the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think, again, young coach, young team. People respect them to be better, but I don't think they were expecting them to be this good as a team. Of course, Shea did a lot of that, but I don't think they were expected to be as good. Again, sorting through Josh Giddey allegations, stuff like that throughout the year. It's just you have to go through a lot as a coach. At the end of the day, you got to manage egos, you got to manage star power, you got to do a lot of that, and incorporating rookie Chet Holmgren as well, who missed the whole year and not really missing the beat, like kind of the sliding him in. He played perfectly. I think he helped J-Dub grow his game by putting him at the 4 and letting him play small ball power forward, but in the game at the 3, just small adjustments. And I think that if they can when they win a playoff series, as long as they don't play the Lakers, I think that it'll more so prove that this team is on its way up and only going to go up. So I give it to Mark Daigneault from the Thunder.
Yeah, with Daigneault, I would say when we talked about earlier how you said SGA is the MVP, and he's got second year J-Dub, second year J Will, Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren. Now, I don't want to discredit Shea because this dude is one of the best two-way players in the NBA, effectively unstoppable on offense. Daigneault has made Jalen Williams is clear, like most obviously going to be a future All-NBA player. His progression so far has been so easy because of the coaching. Chet Holmgren has had a whole year to just sit, learn from Mark. Now he's come out one of the best defensive players in the NBA, a three-level threat on the offensive end, mainly, can work on the post and out on the three-point line. But yeah, this is a super young team. And SGA and Daigneault, their ability to have everyone buy in on defense, have everybody know where you're going to be on offense. It's incredible work. He's young. I could see this getting sniffed out in the playoffs, but I'm not going to blame his youth for why he shouldn't win this award. That's an excellent selection, in my opinion. Mark Daigneault, hats off to him. A very young coach with a young team. I would even say, look, if you win a playoff series, like this season is already a success, in my opinion. You should win a playoff series with how good you are. I'll hold them to that standard. But if not, man, hell of a season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I like that pick. Danny, who are we thinking for defensive or for Darvin Ham Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I'm right with Chris. This team has gotten better. You got Chet healthy, you getting Shea healthy, but I think a lot of that has to do with coaching. I saw the Thunder play the Sixers, and without Shea, they looked like the Spurs of the early, like they were moving the ball like no other team that I've ever seen. I said that last week. They had amazing ball movement. I mean, they folded down the stretch because I don't think they care about winning at this point in the season that much. They would be playing Shea if they really needed to win that bad. So they're not dying to win right now. I mean, they still want to win, but they're not dying. They're not fighting for their playoff lives. So a loss doesn't kill them. But we're a week away from the play-in. We're a week away from playoffs. They're trying to get ready, and this team looks playoff ready. They look like, I'm not gonna lie, they look like a college basketball team that got hot during the tournament and is looking to make a run to the Final Four. And that's what they remind me of. They're really young. They got like four to six guys that can go get their own basket. They're very UConn-like.
Yeah, I could see that. And with Daigneault, like you, and I don't want to make this comparison to crap on Kyrie. In 2018, 2019, the Boston Celtics were 3-0 without Kyrie Irving. That led a lot of people to speculate, oh, does he make them worse? No, you don't get worse when you drop your 25 point per game point guard. It's that guy like Brad Stevens when he has a bunch of guys where he can control because they're all so young. Ball's going to move. We're going to get open looks. Like Jason Tatum in those games without Kyrie looked a lot like Jalen Williams does in those games without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So, Daigneault reminds me of a young Brad Stevens from back in the day. The elite, out of timeout plays, the ability to make your young guys work. It's all a matter of can that man control some egos, which Brad Stevens he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that, and he also couldn't get Danny Ainge to sign a good big. So there was that. Whoa. Anyway, yeah, Bentley just tried to come in here and kill Queen, so that happened. But anyway, I think we're about to have the biggest debate of all time on this last one, or second to last one.
I think me and Chris are seeing eye to eye here.
6th man of the year.
Me and Chris are seeing right eye to eye. I saw Chris's propaganda on his story yesterday. My 6th man of the year is Naz Reid.
How many games has Naz Reid started?
I think that might kill him. I think that might kill him low key.
So that probably might. Okay, it might kill him, but he starts because someone got hurt. That's not fair.
I ain't trying to hear it. Jeff Green lost out on 6th man of the year in 2013 to J.R. Smith because he had to start for old ass Paul Pierce.
I get it. But like,
that's how Emmanuel quickly lost it last year. Literally lost it last year to Malcolm Brogdon because he started too many games. Also, Malcolm Brogdon was better. But
Naz Reid is not the starter. Like,
he is the starter. He started that many games. And even on top of that, let's put all that out of the way. Malik Monk, 70-plus starts. No. Or 70-plus came off the bench, 0 starts. 31 minutes a game. Gets 5 assists a game off the bench. So when he comes in, hey, I can score. I can be our main scorer. I can be our main playmaker, and D Fox can become our main scorer. It's the way he fits so seamlessly with Fox and Sabonis and Murray. He's such a plug and play guy. Not to say Naz Reid isn't. That's honestly what this award is. But I'm going Malik Monk, and it's unfortunate that he got hurt. I know the Kings are going to have to make a deep run if they want him to get back, and that's simply not going to happen. But this award will be a way to remember how good Malik Monk has been this year.
all right,
I'm pretty sure every time they've touched overtime, he scored like 35-plus points. So, like, if you give that guy a sliver of hope in overtime, he's going to make you pay. Reminds me a lot of what Karis LeVert did a while back to the Celtics. I remember that. But
Cat just got cleared for on-court activities.
Shout out to him. I mean, he's probably getting really rushed back from his torn meniscus. It also depends how torn it is. But
so the thing about Embiid, he actually was coming back from a tear where it folded back on himself. So instead of like a tear, it like ripped and folded.
That sounds horrible.
That's why it took 8 to 10 weeks for Embiid.
I would say catch just snapped.
His snap. Well, the meniscus is like imagine a tissue that's soft that absorbs the shock of like landing. The meniscus does that. So like his tissue tore. So they can either snip the tissue off and you'll have less tissue, or they could try to repair it. And repairing it takes a long time to recover. So I don't know if they repaired it or they just cut it. They cut mine out because it wasn't that bad.
Well, Cat's going to be back. Naz will be heading back to the bench. Or, I mean, if you don't want to throw Cat in the fire too fast, you could experiment with 6-man Cat. That's just my opinion. Minute restrictions. Keep Naz in the starting spot. I will say, though, Naz Reid obviously is not a bad pick. Obviously not a bad pick. And I don't even know anyone else who's even in this conversation. Like last year it was...
Norman
it was
Powell.
Brogdon and Norman Powell. I'm sorry.
No, y'all missing one. You're missing one.
Tim Hardaway?
Of course not. He's supposed to be in Zimbabwe. Arkansas legend Bobby Portis.
I was gonna say Bobby Portis was that third guy.
Bobby Portis always is like this.
Okay, but
UFC champion Bobby Portis, yes.
This man always looks like he's on crack. He's like this.
I'll tell you what. You know who could have probably won the 6th Man of the Year award if he didn't have such an ego? Tyler Hero. He's already won it before.
Oh, he was hurt too this year too. He probably been screwed.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have made the games. But maybe his weak body tissue just needed less minutes. I don't know.
You know who would be a baller 6th man? Jimmy Butler.
Hey man, he used to be that for Chicago, and then he became the star, and you know the rest of the story. But I will say, I always think about this. What if the Celtics were still coached by Ime loved double big. He would have started Al with Porzingis. That means Drew or Derek White would have came off the bench, and one of those two would have 1,000% won 6th Man of the Year. Because Derek White averages 16 on this loaded lineup. Let him be the first guy off the bench. We're talking maybe 18, 20 points per game. You want your first guy off the bench guarding Derek White or Drew Holiday, it's just not going to be a fun time. Man, I cannot wait for the playoffs, dog. Can't wait. So we don't see eye to eye there, but I mean, it's literally, I guess, pick your poison. I mean, I do think Nasri is going to lose out because of the games started. The only award where games started hurts you, but it is unfortunate. Now, our last real award before we get into some goofy ones is Clutch Player of the Year, and we're not talking Clutch Sports with the Black Vans and Rich Paul. We're talking Clutch. Give me the ball down the stretch, and we're gonna make this happen. My pick was LeBron James. For a guy who is labeled not clutch his entire career, this guy's leading the league in fourth quarter points per game. Led the biggest comeback in the NBA so far this season. Seems to, and 21 years deep, just making the right play every single time while still getting 8 points per game in the fourth quarter. He only averages like 25. So about like a good more than a fourth of his points, coming in that fourth quarter. So yeah, LeBron James. I know that they're not that high in the seating, but I'm gonna be quite honest. This award, I don't care. Like, I'm pretty sure the favorite for this award right now is Steph Curry and DeMar DeRozan.
They are, and
What
I'll
in the
tell you
world?
why. It's because they're using advanced analytics to make this award. It's just going to be a stat award, pretty much. I think. DeMar DeRozan is second in the league in clutch points, defined as points scored in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime when the score is within 5 points.
Yeah, that's clutch.
So, like, okay, yeah, I feel like you have to look at how much frequency and how much volume are they getting down the stretch, but how many big time shots are they hitting too?
That's
Because
that's another thing. Because a game could be within 5, but it's like,
are you hitting a dagger like Tatum against the Sixers in the playoffs last year?
is this the dagger?
No, he actually hit like the step back against Maxey when they're up 6 and they put it right.
I would say the dagger was the one against Embiid, but no, you're kind of right. The third one he hit was
the push off, the shoulder push off, lean, step back.
Hey man,
I remember it vividly. I was there. I was there in person.
Don't tweet my king ever.
It hurts my heart, dude.
That's one of my favorite things on Twitter. Like, they just be beat riding. They'll be like somebody will quote tweet someone and someone will comment, "Yo, don't tweet him."
Chris, I left game 4. I left game 4 of the Sixers Celtics series when Harden hit the corner 3 and Beach driving kicks to Harden, corner 3. And the Sixers fans everywhere were like, we're going up to Boston. We're going to take one. And we're coming back to Philly and we're going to win. And they went up to Boston. They went up to Boston, won. And they came back to Philly. And then Tatum scored like 60 straight points against the Sixers.
It's hilarious y'all ever thought you were winning that series. It's so funny.
Hey, I'll give you one thing. You were wrong about how deep the series would go. You thought you guys were winning in 5.
And you were wrong about who would win. So there's that.
I mean, I said we were going
7.
Who's
not clutch player of the year? Joel Embiid.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Danny. Employing Doc Rivers and James Harden at the same time, that was difficult. So for y'all to make as far as y'all did, shout out to him. And I gotta get my clutch player of the year take. Guess who it is? Guess who it is?
Is it a Laker? Is it Darvin Ham?
Oh, Darvin Ham should be.
Someone should do a Darvin Ham count every single episode. How many times we say Darvin Ham?
And how many times I want to throw up? I'm giving it to Kyrie Irving. And
oh my God, the left-handed floater over Jokic? Is that why?
That was beautiful too. That in itself could get the award. But I think, and this is just eye test. I didn't look at any of the analytics or nothing. But when it's clutch time, in Luka's career so far, the 6 years he's been playing, 5 years, 6 years he's been playing, he never has been as comfortable getting off the ball towards the end of the game and letting another player direct what happens, whether it's screen and roll, whether it's a driving kick, whatever the case may be. He's never been as comfortable until Kyrie's been there. And I think it's because obviously him and Kyrie have good chemistry, but Kyrie in the past and this year has shown when it is time for clutch, Kyrie's going to come through. So outside of ridiculous left-hand float, he's had I think 2 more game winners. And when it's clutch time, Kyrie's always going to come through. So yeah, I give it to Kyrie.
I love seeing Kyrie here. It's gonna sound crazy. I'm actually joking about. I was gonna give the Max Strus off that one game where he dropped 15 points in the last like 2 minutes. But no, my clutch
heave.
My clutch player of the year is Nikola Jokic.
Ooh,
he gets usage down the stretch. I saw him hit the craziest game winner of all time against the Warriors earlier this season. They were down like 13 points.
40-something foot.
Over the head shot for 40 feet. And down the stretch, you just see Jokic's usage rate spike.
I will say,
I think you can. What do you say?
I was going to say, if they play the Lakers 82 times a year, Nikola Jokic is 1,000% clutch player of the year. They could be down by 25 minutes left, but he's finding a way to win that game.
Yeah, because like, how do you define clutch? Am I down to 10 making a comeback? That's clutch. Or
because let's say it's the other team has a 10-point lead or a 9-point lead. Let's even say they have a 6-point lead with 3 minutes left. That won't be considered clutch, but it is clutch. That's a 2-possession game.
Yeah,
so
it's really hard to quantify. I think you have to look you have to be an advanced ball knowledge to be actually
what's clutch. The clutch player year award should 1,000% be like the basic, like you could go off that number, but I would really just go off vibes, to be honest.
They should call this the Black Mamba Player of the Year, which is just who gives off the most Kobe vibes of like. I'm getting the ball.
Kyrie would win that. Kyrie or LeBron would win that 100%. DeMar honestly does fit that bill. I'm not gonna lie, but he's DeMar DeRozan, so we're not gonna no.
And he also plays for Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, that is true. So that is all of our NBA awards. I think the only ones we agreed on fully were Rookie of the Year. That's it. Everything else we disagreed. I would say how many? 1, 2. 2 of them all of us disagreed, and then a couple others we got jumped. But most improved, Chris got jumped. Coach of the Year, I got jumped. 6th Man of the Year, I got jumped again. But with that being said, we're not quite done yet. We do have one more thing I wanted to go through, and that is the other NBA awards. My first award up is Least Improved Player, which is a player that simply was not like, I want to say this, a player that was supposed to take a leap. Like we were expecting like, oh, this is the year they're really going to, become the All-Star, become the All-NBA. And they either didn't, they just stayed the same, or they just flat out got worse. A candidate for this would have been Jalen Green if it wasn't for them 3 good weeks of basketball. He was there. He was going to be there.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jaden Ivey.
Ooh, it's a fucking great pick, dude.
I really thought he was going to take a really, really big step up this year and like make the Pistons like a semi-competitive basketball team. He didn't. He's had a couple good games. I'll give him that. A couple good games. But like outside of these few good games, dude, it's so bad. Like he just doesn't like play competitive basketball on a nightly basis, which is unfortunate because he's super talented. He's super raw. He's super talented.
Yeah, I totally get that. My pick, this guy could win it literally every single year. DeAndre Ayton. You got your own squad. This is the fresh start. Dominating was supposed to come back, and now it's like, I slept on an air mattress. I can't get out the driveway because the snow. You're so fucking soft. You're so soft. Fuck. Least improved. No, he got fucking worse in my eyes.
Nah, Harden did get worse too, though.
Harden has a different role, though, and nobody's expecting Harden to. What is past All NBA? What does he do? He's won MVP. It's nothing he can really do. I'm talking about a guy. This guy should have been fighting for an All-Star spot. You had your own squad. But no, he just wants to be. I don't know. He wants to be the main character. He wants to be the main female character in a romance show or something. I don't know. Dude's that soft. He's literally Charmin. Rip DeAndre, and you would have loved 500 Days of Summer or whatever that movie's called.
Chris is about to hear the craziest pick of all time. I'm about to hear Chris's pick.
Who is Chris about to light up?
Is y'all definitely not gonna think about this?
Max Christie? No,
because the same reason with Jaden Ivey, it's terrorist coaching those teams. I got to give everybody a pass. Monty Williams is 1,000% a terrorist, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you why. Killian Hayes went from starting to out the league in 30-some games, and Monty Williams is the main reason. But Jaden Ivey did not get better, so I'm with you on that too, Danny. But
I would say, I don't even know if I want to call Monty a terrorist. He don't even want to be here, man. They throw him a bag. He like, hindsight 2020. He's like, I don't even want to do this for real. Like,
he like the jerseys look cool, but whatever. So my least improved player is Giannis, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. This might sound crazy. Giannis has not gotten any better in the last 3 years. The same way you defended him on that finals run, that build a wall. If he gets past the wall, you foul him. He still can't shoot free throws consistently. He still cannot shoot threes. Not saying he has to be Steph Curry, but damn, I should not be able to leave you open at 22 feet. I shouldn't be able to. He still does not have a go-to move in the post outside of being stronger than somebody. He just doesn't have that. And I think to make up for what Jrue Holiday missed, a lot of people talk about the defense. Yes, that mattered for sure. But Jrue Holiday was a calming force for the Bucks. He made a lot of big shots, and he did a lot of the big-time playmaking. We know Dame's a scorer. We know that. Giannis has playmaking ability. Why has he improved on that end outside of just stats? Watching the game, Giannis does not look any different than he did in 2021, 2022. He does not look any different. And to me, I think that's what's hurting the Bucks a little bit. Of course, employing Glenn Rivers is going to hurt for sure. But outside of that, like what has he done better? With Middleton being out, what has he gotten better at? He has not done anything better. And I think that's what's going to hurt the Bucks in the playoffs because Glenn can't coach. So we know it's going to be on the players. Dame's showing up. I think Dame's going to show up, but I think Giannis has to, and Giannis is going to get the counting stats. That's not what I'm talking about. His game has to expand for them to be dangerous because if they run into the Celtics, if that's what you're going to have to do to get out the East, Celtics are going to lock that shit up because they're going to build that same wall with Horford, Cornette. They can put us back there. They're going to figure out a way to do it, and Giannis is going to try to run them over, get charges, and foul out the game and not be effective. So I just think he has to improve, and he hasn't.
I can see the Celtics going the rare double big start, have Horford guard him.
Yep.
Kristaps, Roman.
And when they do that, didn't they do that a year ago? 2 years ago?
They did that
3 years ago.
Well, the thing with the series 2 years ago, right, where they were like, "Oh, we didn't have Middleton." If the Celtics had a healthy Rob, that series is over in 5.
See what I'm saying?
Because it's just going to be Horford ice ball. If Giannis somehow gets by him, Rob is sending that shit to Zimbabwe, dude.
And you can do the same thing with KP and Horford now.
Exactly. And the main reason for that, look what happened. So game 6, Mazzulla's like, all right, I got to go double big. I'm going to start Horford and Rob. Horford, you're going to guard Embiid. If Embiid, for whatever reason, gets past Al Horford, doesn't really happen. Rob, you are going to send that shit to Yucatan. And that's just how it worked. Forced Embiid into fadeaways. Not that he can't do it, but also off the bum knee. He settled for shots. It was easier to double team him. And if you do that this year, my only concern is that Kristaps, not a good perimeter defender. So if you kick out and then he has to go, it's an easy blow by, which I'm only worried about that with the Nuggets, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And then look, Tone, what you were talking about. The Heat, when they beat the Bucks, when they played the Bucks tough, they went double big. There's no way the same thing should be able to beat a star player 4 years in a row. It just shouldn't happen.
You gotta be able to adjust.
Prime, he should be getting better. So that's why I know that sounds crazy, but I think
so we're talking from an athlete perspective. You're talking from an actual game perspective, which is completely valid. Something else also pretty valid. D'Anthony Melton could play tonight.
No way.
So he could be back. This Sixers team getting healthy at the right time.
Crazy thing. The Sixers, their workers that they serve food are on strike because they don't get health care. So they have no concessions at the game tonight.
Wow.
What?
I've never heard of that.
No concessions?
Yeah.
None. Like no popcorn stands.
Damn.
No pizza.
Dude, dude, that game could be like empty. I mean, it's against the Pistons, but like
perfect game.
That little Chick-fil-A Wawa combo right off of the bridge.
They might let people take food in.
That'd be a W. But like, you know what I'm talking about? That little Wawa Chick-fil-A right off the bridge. They about to get action. They got action last time me and you went to the game. We picked up that 5-piece free nugget.
Guess what the price on Game Time is for now for Sixers?
$9.
How cheap?
$9.
So after fees, they're $10. Pre-fees, $3.
Y'all might as well
Oh
slide.
my god, dude, that is ridiculous. We should slide.
That's what I wish. I'm gonna look up some
$10?
Hornets Dallas.
I mean, $10. We should.
$10. Come park
Nah.
up here. We'll take the train over. Come on,
I
man.
unfortunately have a million assignments due tonight. I wish I could.
Yeah.
I would love to see Embiid drop 35 on the Pistons, but
in 8 minutes.
so we have to get to these last two awards. This next one, this is called the Eye Test Award. A guy who might not have the stats to back it up like an all-star, but like, yo, I promise, if this dude got his own team, yo, he's 25 points per game, flat out. So this is called, this is the Eye Test Award. So my pick for this, it's because this dude is like all-star caliber, but like he's not an all-star. My pick for this is Jamal Murray. He's not an all-star. Probably would be an all-star if he was in the East, but like, dude, every time I watch this dude play, dude, he is awesome. He's so good. I feel like he hits every big shot. I feel like he makes all the right plays. Like, I know this is for this year, but last year in the finals, every time the Heat went on a run, he shut that shit up like real fast. So yeah, my like eye test, Hooper's Hooper, my official ball don't stop eye test player of the year. I'm going with Jamal Murray and and I mean very, very close second, Brandon Ingram. He is like as eye test as it gets, so aesthetically pleasing. But for some reason, you look up and it's like,
It's only 19 points.
why do you only have 22 points, bro? How did that happen?
The loudest 19 you've ever seen in your
Oh
life.
my god, dude!
So loud.
Like, nah, for real. Him and Jaylen Brown got the fattest 22 points per game. Shout out the 2016 draft class. Two best players still representing.
I'm coming in. Yeah. So nice. I like that. So I got one. Oh, this is gonna be great. Eye Test Award. And this is a player who is one of my favorite young players in the league. I talked about him on this show, Sideline Summit, the greatest podcast out. I talked about him pre-draft and pre-draft. Keontae George is my eye test player of the year. And no, it's not because I played his pops, none of that. It is actually because I see a lot of Donovan Mitchell in this kid. A lot. Now, Donovan Mitchell, when he first came in, a lot of duties weren't necessarily given to him just because he was more of a scorer, just coming out of Louisville. On this team, with the injuries that the Jazz have had, Keontae's shown 3-level scoring. He showed playmaking ability. He showed ability to rebound and get the ball and go. He's shown ability to do every single thing you want from a lead guard. And I think just off watching his game is real smooth for a young player, fresh out of college. The way he plays the game, he has like an older soul to him. Like he knows when to pick his fight, doesn't take a lot of bad shots. I think he's going to be one of those players in the next 2 or 3 years where you think like, damn, how did he fall at this point in the draft? Or how did this many teams pass up on him? I think he's one of those type of players. So he's my eye test player of the year. Second, my close second, close second is Ayo Dosunmu. Because I didn't think he was like, even being a Chicago kid, I was like, I don't see it. Like I didn't see it. I think just needed more reps and more NBA time. He can really play. And I'm not saying he's going to be a star, no crap like that. But I think he can be like an elite, like Josh Hart level elite role player on a good team. So
Keontae George is very funny because I know this is eye test player of the year. We're not supposed to look at stats. His last 5 games, 25 points, 6 points, 9 points, 18 points, 6 points.
Just trust your eyes. You'd be like, holy shit. You look at the stats, you're like, what the
You look at the stats, the dude is shooting 38, 33, 85 shooting splits. 38% from the field. Oh my God. But I do see the eye test vision. That's a great candidate for the award.
Yeah, you guys need to
you
guys need to hear me out. It's Josh Hart. He plays 48 minutes a game. He is, if you watch the Knicks, he is the Knicks. They needed Josh Hart on the team to be able to become what the Knicks brand of basketball is. Yep. And you watch the Knicks and you're just like, wow, Josh Hart is really good. You're like, he's on every rebound. He hustles. And I think when you talk about eye test, it's not just oh, who has the fanciest crossover, who has the best. It's who's everywhere on the floor, everywhere at once. And that's my Josh Hart, because Josh Hart is basketball. He plays basketball at his highest heart.
He eats basketball. No, I like that one, because you could look at it at two different perspectives. Like, you could look at the Marcus Smart, heart and soul, and everything's on the stat sheet type of guy, or you could look at the check out this tween Hezzy. Now it's only going to be like 10 points per game, but it looks cool.
Yeah, we'll take that one
different ways
next year. Next year, Rob Dillingham's winning that if he if we're taking it that direction.
Nah, because he's so shifty and he has aura. so yeah. But yeah, I would say that's a great pick. And our last award of the other NBA awards, not Coach of the Year. So a guy that maybe is the coach of a playoff team, but they are there in spite of this guy. Like, oh my God.
I think this is our first, other than Rookie of the Year, it might be our first synonymous, dude.
Well, yeah, it is unanimous, but you have to go with someone else that isn't Mr. Ham. That is the only, because this award is named after Darvin Ham. This is the Darvin Ham Coach of the Year award. So you can't pick Darvin Ham, but you have to pick somebody who is a coach of a playoff or play-in team that they are there in spite of him.
Oh, easy. Doc Rivers.
Yeah. I guess he would be the next guy up.
It's like Darvin Ham is like the greatest variant. Doc Rivers is the greatest Darvin Ham variant that you can get.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. I remember when Darvin Ham got hired, they were like, "Yeah, he's gonna get the defense right." And boy,
Bucks are 3-7 in their last 10.
They've lost more games since hiring Doc. I think they've doubled their losses since they hired Doc and with Adrian Griffin. And Bucks fans will still try to excuse it. It's like, oh, well, Adrian didn't have the locker room. I'm like, fucking Adrian won basketball games. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Your offense was lit.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. They should have never fired Mike. Mike had a team.
That's another thing. Hindsight's 2020, but why 100%. Are we firing?
It's not hindsight. It's not hindsight at all. Everyone said it at the time. Why are you firing a guy because you lost one playoff series?
Literally.
No. I agree with you. I'm saying for the Bucks, look, they hired Adrian Griffin, and I thought that was a solid move. But but why are we firing coaches 2 years after winning championships? Why did the Lakers fire Frank Vogel?
I don't know. The Eagles.
Why did the Bucks fire Mike Budenholzer?
The Eagles did fire.
The Nuggets fired Mike Malone. What? Right before the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. Oh man! And they hired Doc Rivers. That would be my fantasy world. Keep the teams the same. Just give them Doc Rivers.
No, I mean the Eagles did fire Doug Peterson. What, 2-3 years after?
We're heading to a new era. It's different.
All right, the Bucks. They're heading to that Doc Rivers era.
Dude, I got no clue, man. But that is our.
I didn't get mine.
Chris.
Yeah. I was because you have to get someone that's not Darvin Ham.
So I'm gonna pick his twin brother, Steve Kerr.
Another
twin. Terrorist. Terrorist. Steve Kerr is a terrorist, and I'm gonna tell you why. He went out after pulling Steph from a game. Said if playing Steph 4 more minutes, if that's what's gonna get everybody upset, then so be it. It's called playing him when it matters, first of all. It's also called not stifling Jonathan Kuminga on the bench for no reason. It's also called playing Moses Moody as the role player he is and not throwing in Brandon Podcast dude. He's not good. He had 20 good games. He's not good. Steve Kerr is not a good coach, and it's showing this year. It's showing. He's not good. He's not good. And it's showing. If the Warriors make it out of play, it'll be by the grace of God and Draymond Green's temper that they make it out, not because of Steve Kerr. Get him out of here.
I would say he's not Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla the other night just completely benched his starters for like the last 10 minutes of the game. The Kings made like a 20-point comeback, but the Celtics bench was able to pull through. And here's the even crazier thing. So the Celtics bench, the main guys off the bench are Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, and Sam Hauser is a sniper. That dude went 1 for 18. So in spite of that, in spite of no starters in the game, Xavier Tillman, shout out to him, won the game for the Celtics against the Kings. You see, Steve Kerr, you're not Joe Mazzulla. You don't have 60-plus wins. what if I let Kristaps Porzingis guard DeJounte Murray and he has 40? What if I just did that? What if I put Al, KP, and Xavier Tillman on the court? What if I let Jason Tatum run point guard for a game? You can't experiment like that. You can't say, what if I have Steph Curry on the bench with 6 minutes left in a close game? Are you fucking stupid? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
bad.
troll like that. Look, you have 4 rings, an all-time coach because of that, and you can have Steph to thank for that, but no. It's fucking stupid. I like that pick. I like that pick more than my own pick. What did I think I technically picked Doc Rivers with Danny because that was the guy I was thinking of when I thought of this award. Well, first, of course, I thought of the guy named after Mr. Darvin Ham.
It's the Glenn Ham Award. That's what it is.
Glenn
Ham
Ham.
Award. The Glenn Eggs and Ham Award. There it is.
Ham Rivers Award, presented by Dietz and Watson. But yeah,
God.
I would say if this was one, look, you know who would have really loved this award? Brett Brown. Shout out to him. He would have loved this award.
Elite.
That dude stunk. You know who also would have loved this award for about the first 50 games of the season? Ime Udoka. That dude could not hold to a double-digit lead to save his life. The Celtics would have probably won 60 games that year if that dude just got his shit together 10 games earlier. But no, he was too busy, not going easy on the young ones. So
take it easy on him.
He said, they say he brought you to the finals. You said he touched those kids? The shit hit the fan. Is you still a fan? But that is everything we got today. Those were our NBA awards and not so awards, I guess you could say. I mean, I check as a W award in my opinion. But again, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting there. And if you're listening to this on audio, make sure you leave us a 5-star like and review. Anything you guys want to say before you get on out of here? No? All right, from HQ Freezer, Culture by Migos, DC Comics, go Phils, and we'll see you guys next week.